with Shulk staring at him so intently and his hands touching his, and with the food being an offering directly from him, Alvis lets out a sigh and takes a bite. Oh? Yeah, it's supposed to be. With a laugh, Shulk leans forward and kisses him. His lips taste like the marshmallow that's still in Alvis's mouth. Aw, it must have been a yummy kiss right there. Hey guys, Luxker here. Today, we're going to be playing a visual novel style game called the Bladeingtons Camping Adventure, created by Hoshizora Lone. And if you guys don't know who Hoshizora Lone is, they're an artist that like makes little web comics and stuff, and they make little mini series as well. They got some pretty cute art in general, and I really like their art style a lot. And for over 3.5 years now, they have made this story with using Xenoblade characters and called it the Bladeingtons. And I've been looking over their comics and stuff, and she did a pretty good job at portraying these characters just in her comics alone. Because last year was its 3rd anniversary, she made this little visual novel type story called the Bladeingtons Camping Adventure. And we're gonna be going ahead and playing that right now. It shouldn't be too long a video, so let's go ahead and see it. Okay, here's the how to play screen. Disclaimer, this is essentially overglorified fanfiction with images and music. There are going to be some headcanons in these stories that will just be treated as canon. If any go against actual canon, then just kill me, I guess. Yeah, you can tell this is already kind of pretty humorous in general, so I guess we gotta start at 3 different points, or actually I think it's like 4 different points. Let's go ahead and start over here. Grill skills. Alvis is halfway through setting up his tent with Pyra when he hears a crash. Wait, he? I thought it was they, because isn't Alvis supposed to be gender androgynous? Well, no, never mind. It's a headcanon, don't worry about it. Wow, Nia really is donning the casual wear right now. Positive vibes shirt, that's pretty great. I don't know if I can do a good Nia accent, or just a Welsh accent. Shit! Okay, that was funny.
A few moments later.
Oh, shit! Oh, man, I can't do the voice. I'm sorry. Ugh. Yeah, Alvis can just keep trying to piece the tent together in peace. No problem. He's trying his best, you know? I mean, just looking at it, it looks okay. Of course, this is how Alvis would prefer the situation to unfold. But Pyra is different. Just looking at her right now. As much as Alvis would really like to get this tent set up sometime soon, Pyra is the only one who can actually interpret the cryptic instructions that came with it, which are just horribly printed pictures with nothing being labeled. Ah, yeah, she's the only one that can read these cryptic messages since she knows what the whole world is all about, so... The last time Alvis has set the tent up on his own, it came down on him in the middle of the night, and reliving that is really not something he wants to go through. Ah, gee, I mean, I wouldn't want to be Alvis in this situation. He's just gonna go under the tent and just sleep there. Like, as soon as he goes ahead and builds it, the tent just falls right on top of him, so nothing to be able to get through all that and stuff. Nia is crouching down on the ground over what looks to be large clumps of metal, head in her hands, not a position where it looks like she's hit her head, but that she's lamenting something. Just lamenting over a little piece of metal. I'd see Nia doing that. Pyra tosses the instructions to the side, then gets up and jogs over to Nia. Alvis pins the paper against Pyra's water bottle because... Wait, Pyra's water bottle? Pyra, water? Yeah. The lumps of metal actually turn out to be parts of a portable grill upon closer inspection. But things look particularly dire. nothing is connected, just splayed out on the dirt as if a hurricane swept through and shoveled everything up. Oh boy, gee, I don't want a hurricane just swallowing this whole area just because it's just so windy in a forest out in the middle of nowhere, I guess. In this moment, Alvis can see not only despair in her eyes, but horror. Oh jeez, those eyes, man, those eyes. Look at this sweatshirt Alvis has on. Wow. You know what? I think I'm gonna think about getting another accent right there to Alvis, actually. Broke. It's a rather kind word to use here. It looks demolished, at least to Alvis's untrained eye, and probably to Nia's as well. Pyra gently swats Alvis with her hand like she's holding a cat. You have a cat right next to her, you know, just looking right there, then and there. Oi! I don't know what even happened. Swear! I just touched it wrong, and this thing came off and, Meanwhile, Nia is completely spiraling. Oh, jeez, the spiraling cat. He's never seen anyone go through the 5 stages of grief so fast. Oh, man. Alvis has seen so much shit in his life, man. You don't want to be Alvis just going through 5 stages of grief just like that. Just Pyra suddenly holds up a part of the grill that seems to be in its outside shell, as it's a bright red and spotless compared to what the insides look like. There isn't any damage to it, but she still brings it to the two's attention. Just before he can recall why, Pyra points to a section by its edge, where a section of script lettering has been etched in. The letters are hard to read for Alvis. They probably originate from their world rather than his. Oh geez, so there are 2 different worlds that we're talking about here. Okay, that's interesting. Pyra says, that's a great face. A fun observation. No wonder this junk is familiar to Alvis. Just this big old scrap of metal. But Pyra doesn't recognize the weight of her own words until after they've been said. Oh no. She's so worried about it. Oh no. Timidly, she looks toward Nia, who's turned so pale from hearing this news that she's almost blue. Oh no. Look at her face. Yeah. Her face is just so blue now. You know, I'm sure there's a chance it's probably not extremely important to Jin, so I gotta leave. I'm gonna be nervous. Oh shit, she's going. Holy crap. No, you're not. Don't run. Aww. That's too hard right there. And Alvis is just was wondering what the hell's going on. Pyra grabs Nia and gets her anchored in place, while Nia tries to find a futile escape, practically on the edge of tears. Ah, like she couldn't really find the right place, you know. Alvis watches this unfold in total silence because he has no idea how to deal with such a visceral reaction. I mean, it's Alvis. I mean, he just wants to get out of the mystery and whatnot, so. Actually, real quick, I want to check this menu out right here, see what it does. Oh, it's that option. Okay, so you can save, load, or skip the text if you want to. So, blades aren't the textbook definition of human. Oh, yeah, true. But they share most of, if not all, human psychological traits. Alvis understands their inner thoughts as well as he might understand Hams's. Alvis is a machine after all, so he does know like so many parts of both of their worlds in general, so at least not taking Xenoblade 3 into account, so. That is to say, he can make a connection to understand why Jin might be upset if he finds out about this, but can't relate to the feeling. That makes sense, actually. Nia is now vividly describing a time where she had witnessed Jin dissipate a random soldier while on a mission to collect core crystals, and Pyra is trying to insist that won't happen to her with very little success. So if we're talking about a random soldier on a mission, Are we talking about Ardanian soldiers here? Alvis claps his hands together loud enough to get Nia to let out an eep in surprise. That was great. Why don't we have a professional taking a gander at the situation? I thought that said gender for a second. Like, let's just assume all our genders here, while Alvis is just like, oh yeah, I'm a guy. Like a plumber? Where's Mario when you need him? A mechanic. I am thinking of consulting mechanic. Someone who is proficient with machines. Of course, Alvis is thinking of Shulk. Oh yeah, the Shalvis. Yeah, that's what I think too. Pyra would also be a decent enough candidate. She has mentioned once to him that her body had changed, she had picked up a couple of procedures for self-maintenance. And like snooping around Shulk's workshop when he wasn't around. Oh, joy. Like, even when Shulk isn't around, Pyra just goes ahead and goes into his workshop and is like, I'm just gonna pick out this random tool to fix out my body, because that's how I need to do things there. I can't have Shulk do this all by myself. I have to learn mechanics all by myself here. But not only is Shulk familiar with tinkering on all kinds of machines, he's probably the only person who would be... Oh, we know Shulk does more than just tinkering, okay? This is said with immense love, of course. I know where you're going with that. Not to worry, Alvis. I'll go get Shulk right now. In a lovey-dovey sense. But there are a couple times that something comes entirely out of left field, leaving Alvis without words for a moment. It's the Shalvis. It's the gay, okay? The last time this happened about a month ago, it was a bit more benign, entirely hands-off for Alvis. He heard a crash downstairs and went down to find Malos had speared their television with one of the gaming devices shaped like a stick. By the way, Malos actually is pretty interesting in this version, and we'll get to see Malos later on, because he looks pretty funny. Mithra's furious over it, and Malos tried to defend himself by saying, I was just about to get a turkey and we bowling. You wouldn't get it. And Pyra was trying to defuse the situation when cleaning up the mess. So it's confirmed. Malos is a master at Wii bowling, so just keep that in mind, everybody. He's by the lake, right? I remember he said he was going to go there with Melia for a brief swim. Oh, we're going to swim with Melia? Oh, man. It should have been extremely obvious that Alvis wanted to do the one to go grab Shulk from whatever he was doing. Hell, Alvis had already begun walking backwards from the two before Pyra sprung up from the ground. Yes, Shulk could easily remedy the situation, but also, Shulk is Alvis's boyfriend. Yeah, let's go! This is already a great VN already. I love this. Maybe it's because the whole reason any of this is happening is due to one irrational man's actions. Maybe it's because being a seer for the High Entia for hundreds of years really stunted his social skills. Ah, poor guy. It's probably the latter, since socialization between High Entia of royal status, even if its most drama-filled moments, was much more bite than bark, but the former makes a lot of sense as well. Yeah, I can see that actually, because like, I've actually seen like a tweet actually from somebody talking about like High Entia just being all goshed over Melia and Alvis, and they're like, even female characters for Melia are like, oh my gosh, Melia's so beautiful, I want to see her, and it's like, oh yeah, I know where you're going there, huh? I love that. In any case, Alvis can barely reign. Alvis can barely reign. That's great. That's a great sense right there. And when they're playing video games together, so trying to stay with Nia, who's still spiraling and seems to be on the depression stage of grief right now, is asking a lot. That's great. Stay here with Nia, right? You can do that. I'll be back in a flash. She pats Nia on the head, like a cat. Alvis, yup. They just say that. It's like she dropped a 50-ton weight directly on his head and said, "Have fun!" Ah, poor guy. Just looking out in the open like that. Alvis has no problem with Jin. Actually, they get along quite well when they do speak to each other. Yeah, pretty well. On the opposite side, Zeke and Pandoria visit only every once in a while, and are so strange to Alvis that he usually just locks himself in his room while they're over. One time, Zeke tried to break his door down to say hello, and Alvis wanted to die. Okay, that's great, because that's definitely relates to Zeke's personality. He's just the most extravagant person, and knocks on Alvis's door, and just is like, excuse me, I don't want this right now. I'm just gonna go back in my room. That's totally Alvis. And then Pandoria is like, oh, that's the princess's way of saying hello, you know? Nia could take 5 minutes to talk about how great the weather is, and all Alvis would do is reply, yes, I agreed. The most introverted person ever. Alvis doesn't really mind this dynamic, given they really aren't seeing each other all that time. Nia is Pyra and Mithra's friend after all. Yeah, true. And Malice's ex-co-worker or something like that. Oh, wait. Alvis works for Malos as with what exactly? Yeah, that's something I would see there then. Standing there in silence, Alvis briefly recalls a time that Fiora chided him for this kind of social interaction. Like what kind, though? Oh, look at Fiora right there. That's cute. If someone wants to talk, take the initiative. That was easy for someone like Fiora to say. She could make conversation with a brick wall. Yeah, for sure. And Alvis is just blankly staring right out in the middle of nowhere. He walks over and peeks inside the bag, only to find the contents are pitch black. In fact, even the bag is black on the inside. It's like looking directly into a rip in reality. True. This whole bag is just a freaking black void that never ends. It's like the fucking Harry Potter bag that like never ends as well. When he pulls his head back and finds his fingertip dark black, the pieces click in. It's charcoal, gathered up and put in a spare bag. What's charcoal doing in a bag like that? Oi, I wanted to set the grill up. Do something nice, you know? Putting the charcoal in and whatever. Maybe roast myself some marshmallows when I was at it. So you really just wanted to roast marshmallows? Oh man, that was all because of that. Well, duh! But I wanted to help out too! So I go to remove the rack, and then when I drop it back real fast, there was a spider, and it almost got my hand, and it totally collapses. It's that spider's fault, and I'm in the scenario right now. When you stop to think about it. Alvis walks back over to Nia's side and processes this information, while Nia just has a tear in her eye. Is there something bothering you? No, it's just I don't know. I don't know you cared about roasting marshmallows that much. You're really something. You're really serious looking right now. I don't particularly care for or have a need for food or eating, so. I guess you're allergic to marshmallows, I guess. Something seems to register in Nia's brain then, and she squints up at Alvis like she's staring at animals she's never seen before. You call Alvis a dog or something? What? What the hell does that mean? As in, the definition of what a theory is. A theory is an idea intended to explain... Not that, you dolt! The food part! What do you mean by not need to eat? How Pyra and Mithra cook and eat plenty, and Mallows goes through desserts like they're no problem. This may be the first time Alvis has been called adult in his entire existence. I'm sure he's been called an adult in like another universe, but like to like a Welsh cat girl, nah, it's much different. It's a much different intention, really. Alvis ignores the insult and points to the red core under his collarbone. I receive my energy through this, as do the other three from their respective cores. Yeah, let's just pretend he has Ontos right there. Since this is the source of how I function, I find eating unnecessary. Yeah, Trinity processor cores don't actually need to do much of anything because of the amount of sheer power they possess. Remember, Klaus made them so Alvis could pretty much eat without having to, like, eat anymore. Because that's where he gets his energy from, is just this thing around this chest, so... Sleep is certainly something the four of them indulge in when they feel like it. But eating is of varying levels of importance to each of them. Yeah, just like I said. Like, you only get your energy for your core, so Alvis just can eat all the time whenever he feels like it, and nothing else happens. To Alvis, it's the least important thing. While it's true that good food is tasty, and that could be reason enough to eat, Alvis doesn't see a point in carrying out such a human habit. Especially if there's no benefit to it, and especially when it costs money to do so. Oh, yeah, I guess we can assume Alvis is poor in this scenario. Just a helpless machine. Just a helpless, heartless machine. You don't get hungry at all? No, I don't get full either. So you eat whatever you want, and that's it? No repercussions? As far as I'm aware, that seems to be the case. He's not gonna eat anything. He's just gonna get his energy from that core crystal, so... Or just that core. Then, after a brief moment where it seemed as though she had been pondering something truly deep, Nia yells out, "Now why the hell did the architect make us like that? Why not us?" He did know Sansa, but Sansa operated on Weeball mindset, and this gives him absolutely no insight into whatever the architect might have been thinking about anything. It would probably end up in the pathetic throttling of an old man. Just an old man just being in part of the process. Or it could just be like Arglis also, so... I may have been untruthful, but about how we eat doesn't affect us. The amount of sugar Mallows eats really goes straight to his... It goes straight to his glutes, that's what it is. Ow! Ow! Nia punches Alvis right in the shin. I do not need to know that! Please and thank you very much! It feels like it's been hours since Pyra bolted off, but it's probably only been 5 minutes. But I feel like it's been over 10 minutes according to this recording. That must suck though. Not being hungry, not being full. Why would it suck? Because eating's how you make a routine. Breakfast, lunch, dinner? And the feeling of being full after eating something you were really craving is awesome. Is that the right way to go about it? Maybe this is stupid. He stops trying to understand the idea. Oh, I think it's just way too much for him to bear, honestly. A rustling in the trees, then. Alvis looks up in the direction the sound is coming from and stands, and Nia turns her head. Oh, what does she see? Not a second later, Pyra emerges, carrying a very calm for the situation he's in Shulk under her arm like a football. She rushes over to Alvis and Nia like they're put past an imaginary finish line and holds Shulk up in the air to match the trophy she's won after her marathon. Yeah, just imagine her just holding Shulk in the air, just right in front of Alvis's face because, you know, she can hold up anything. I'm back with Shulk! Oh, look at that outfit he has on. That's great. She sets him down in front of the grill. Shulk is very shaky on his legs and grabs onto Alvis's shoulder for a moment to keep himself standing. Pyra is very fast. That's the only thing he says about his travels. Sorry, it's just that this seems like a huge emergency. I didn't want to keep anyone waiting. Shulk nods, lets go of Alvis, The place where his hands have been resting feels warm, even if he only had held onto Alvis for a moment. Yeah, that's cute. So what's happened here?
A few moments later.
Oh yeah, look here! Lifts up a part that looks like one of the legs and shows it to his onlookers. In particular, he points to a hole towards one of its ends, which is empty. There should be a medium-sized bolt here, since this is supposed to connect to another leg. The fact that there isn't means it's been broken off, and we should find that first. The four of them now, Pyra, Nia, Shulk, and Alvis, start sifting through the grill parts and dirt to try and find any sort of bolt that fits Shulk's description of a medium size and possibly broken. It's like they're a bunch of children playing in the sandbox, but also a lot more intense given the fact that Nia is particularly on all fours scoring the scene. Because she is a cat after all. Maybe she should take a break from this before a blood vessel bursts. Oh boy. Between her fingers is a bolt, but specifically the first half of it, the head, where the second half should be, which is called the thread, is broken off. She hands it to Shulk, who nods to himself. Yeah, this is most likely the culprit. Alvis feels a weird sense of pride from having guessed what caused the problem before and having it confirmed by Shulk. He finds himself shuffling in place to distract himself from this feeling. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Shulk twirls the bolt head around in his fingers, thinking to himself, I probably have a spare of something this size. Give me just a second. Give me just a sec. Yes! Shulk is enough of a nerd to bring a toolbox and spare parts with him on a camping trip. That's great. Okay, yeah, Shulk is a nerd, but this is a bit too much, actually. Was he expecting something to go wrong? Yeah, gee, Shulk is that type of guy that would just bring, like, his whole toolkit. He would probably bring his desk, his whole entire lab over with him on a camping trip. That's what I guess here. Shulk places the toolbox down on the ground next to Nia with a large thump. Nia opens her mouth to shoot back a protest, but catches herself when she realizes that, yeah, something did happen, and she was the cause of it. A complaint or a jeer isn't worth it when she's the problem. Let's all blame Nia. That's what we should all do in life. Blame Nia for our troubles. That would be even more of a mess. Trying to find out what went wrong in that kind of situation. So it's actually good that you found this out, Nia. Ha! Yeah, I guess I'm a kind of a genius for this one, huh? You're absolutely right, Shank. Shank. It's Shulk. You're absolutely right, Shulk. I love that. She just missays his name on purpose. Alice does not know whether he should feel embarrassed for Shulk or if he wants to kiss him right then and there. I go with the kiss, if I'm being perfectly honest. Eventually, Shulk takes out a wrench from the very bottom of the box, then takes out a small box from one of the platforms labeled spares. Yep, just had to label it like that. And places it alongside the wrench on the ground. He picks up a small box and rummages around it for a few seconds, then looks to Alvis. He holds out his hand like he's expecting something from Alvis. A moment of intimacy now, while others were around. This was highly unlike Shulk, but Alvis obliges him, of course, and reaches out to hold Shulk's hand back. The bolt's head is passed down between Shulk's palm to Alvis's. Sorry, could you hold this for me? Oh, duh. Alvis would probably do anything for him at this point, so he dumbly agrees to hold it for him. Shulk spends a few moments picking out various spare bolts and hiding them to Alvis's hand to compare the size. He brushes his fingertips against Alvis's palm every time he does this, then pulls them away after a few moments. That's like them. Alvis feels like his hand is on fire. A quick glance at Pyra from where she sits behind Shulk, and she can see her giving another thumbs up with a smile. That's cute. Now his face looks like it's on fire, too. That's just great. Alvis needs to crawl into a hole. Aw, Pyra just loves the relationship she has, or they have with them. After a few or 6 comparisons, Shulk holds another bolt to Alvis's hand and then nods to himself. Yup, that works. And then he picks up his wrench. Okay, I can put this back together in a couple minutes. You don't need instructions? Huh? Why would I need instructions? Look at them. Eventually, Nia emerges with another bag, this time made of brown cloth instead of plastic, like what the charcoal is being held in. So we had a black cloth bag, and now we're having a brown cloth bag. That's very interesting, I would say, just to have different kinds of bags. Like, I would even say it's overkill if you think about it. Well, while old good Shulk gets to work on this, might as well indulge. She walks back over and pulls out a bag of marshmallows, then tosses them to Pyra. She catches them no problem, then scans the bag herself. Alvis glances at it and finds that it's just a regular market brand of marshmallow, though some are colored pink. The pink whoever finds a pink marshmallow in a white marshmallow bag, that's something interesting, I would say. Oh, I just bumped the mic there, sorry. Alvis, you're eating too, so get ready. I thought we already discussed that he can't eat because he can't get energy from food, so. A treat! A roasted marshmallow, just like I wanted in the first place! And I am politely demanding that you take part in this celebration feast, so you can get what I mean by food being satisfying! Oh man. I would say it would probably be the best for him to just join in, even though he's not going to be eating anything. Shulk lifts his hand up from his work. Somehow, the legs and base of the grill are already set up, staying tall on the ground. Thank you, Shulk's parents, for birthing such an extremely capable nerd. Oh, he's the nerdiest nerd you can ever nerd. Maybe a thank you is due to Sansa as well, since Shulk most likely only became this skilled with machines due to Sansa's whims regarding the Monado. But Alvis doesn't feel like acknowledging that right now. Don't want to bring back those rough times, right? Ah! Oh, can I have one? Alvis, could you feed me one? My hands are full. Alvis practically snatches the bag off Pyra's grasp and pulls out a marshmallow to put in Shulk's open mouth. Okay, maybe eating is actually the best thing ever. Yeah, true. Nia sees the look of satisfaction on Alvis' face and runs with it. Yep. Hell yeah! Shulk, you want Alvis to have some too, right? Sounds fun! Sure, that sounds fun. See? You should totally eat some! A want is a necessity. A want. Get it? Pyra leans over and puts her head on Alvis' shoulder. This is an advanced Pyra tactic, the time-weather combo of leaning onto someone and pouting to get them to do something. He knows that if he wants down, you'll find Pyra giving him a sad, pleading look. That's cute, actually. Alvis cannot fall victim to this for the sake of his own pride, and so he looks straight ahead, staring at Shulk's back with an unbreakable intensity. This is... okay, I'm gonna admit something. This is probably like one of the most gayest fan-made visual novels I've ever read, which is such an awesome feat, honestly. You don't have to do things based on if they're a necessity or not. Food's more than just fuel to keep someone going. It's something to take part in for all kinds of reasons. Like celebrating Nia not getting murdered. Oh jeez. Oh boy. Yeah, I wouldn't be Nia here either. Pyra sticks out her head far away from the two of them, and a flash of fire appears from her index finger's tip. Without weighing a single beat, Nia already has a marshmallow on a skewer and places it over Pyra's fire. Yo, yeah, just cooperation, to roast a marshmallow. Alvis stares at the marshmallow as it catches on fire a bit itself. Nia doesn't even flinch. Is she going to eat it like that? That's a bit gross. Yeah, have you ever anybody like roast marshmallows before over a fire, but then like eats the marshmallow just from off the stick? Yeah, it can get pretty It can, for one, it can get pretty nasty, but your fingers will also get sticky as well, just coming off of it too, so. Nia removes her own skewer from the fire to give him some space. After blowing out the small fire consuming her own, she bites right into the marshmallow without waiting for it to cool off. There's a loud crunch, and she's bitten right into the gravel. Oh my god. That's gonna be funny. I get it now! The family resemblance! You're just like Mallows, the way you decry your boy. Just throw it into his mouth. Okay, I'm done. Sure enough, the grill is entirely reassembled like it's fresh out of the box, and Shulk is now standing over it with pride. Nia's eyes widen. She gulps down her snack and puts a hand in her mouth. Oh boy, oh joy. How did you do that so bloody fast? Would you prefer I went slower? Absolutely not. Thank you, Shulk. Oh, he wants this. Here, like you requested. Alvis holds up the skewer for Shulk to take, and Pyra's fire dies down until she can safely bring her hand back to her side. The entire time, her head has been resting on Alvis's shoulder, but she lifts herself off of him and gets to her feet. Alongside Nia, she inspects the newly assembled grill that is an expensive car. Shulk takes the skewer from Alvis and takes a bite, and then he hands it right back, practically shoving it into Alvis's hands. It's close enough to his face that Alvis could see that the inside of the marshmallows is just a bit melted. It's a bit dark as well. Its consistency and texture makes Alvis think it looks like a slug. Here, you can have the other half. They're sharing a marshmallow. I don't particularly need to eat this. You should have the rest. But I want you to have it! Please? Shulk holds Alvis's hand to make them squeeze around the base of the skewer. You can consider it payment for me helping out, if you really want. Alvis holds the marshmallow up to his mouth, on the other side that Shulk has taken a bite from. This really is slug-like. Alvis has no idea what he's thinking so much about slugs. They're probably not very appetizing considering he's never seen a person eat them. With Shulk staring at him so intently and his hands touching his, and with the food being an offering directly from him, Alvis lets out a sigh and takes a bite. Oh, yeah, it's supposed to be. With a laugh, Shulk leans forward and kisses him. His lips taste like the marshmallow that's still in Alvis's mouth. Aw, it must have been a yummy kiss right there. Okay, yeah, eating is kind of awesome. Alvis learns how to eat, just like that. From the side, Nia and Pyra watch it too, not even speaking between each other, like the air has been sucked out of the area. They're holding their breaths as the exchange goes on. Yeah, because we gotta love each other. Everyone should love each other here. When Alvis eats the rest of the marshmallow without hesitation, Pyra fist pumps to herself. Yes! Meanwhile, Nia, with the bag of charcoal in her hands, just shakes her head. So that's really all it takes for him to stop acting like a robot. A pretty please from Shulk. Hey, isn't that nice? I like how Alvis relaxes like that, not worrying about if someone makes sense or not. If he can learn to be laid back more often, that would be perfect. But it's the littlest things that count. Alvis hands Shulk the skewer, and the two begin talking about something out of their hearing range. Well, Nia can hear it, but it's about each other in kind of a mushy-gushy romantic way, so she tunes out. That's so cute, though. I love the Shalvis stuff that's being bringing about here. But there's an easy to spot sign of joy on Alvis's face, even from where the two stand a couple meters away. While you handle the grill, I'm gonna go finish setting up Alvis's tent. I still need to set mine up too. In that instant, a gust of wind happens to blow by. It's been breezy the whole day so far, so this isn't out of the ordinary, save that it's a bit stronger. A bit stronger. There's a noise that sounds like something's falling over. Oh? Pyra's water bottle has fallen over and is rolling on the ground toward the middle of the campgrounds. A paper flies up from the side of Alvis's tent. Look at her right there. Ah! The instructions! It was right there all along, just flying in the wind. Pyra and Alvis both abandon their current places, and bolt after their rogue instructions like their lives depend on it. The paper is now flying atop the wind, carried by the gusts as it goes further down the campsite. Alvis sprints for it as best he can, but Pyra outclasses him and takes the lead. Even though Pyra is kind of heavy built, she can run pretty fast too, so... Still, until it comes down closer to the ground, the best they can do is chase after it. Just out camping. I could set their tent up for them without the instructions if they really needed it, so maybe we should stop them before they run themselves ragged. Nah, it's funnier this way. And off Alvis and Pyra go, running from the architect knows how long. They are running around and anywhere else, so... Alright, well, that's the end of that. I guess we can go back into it if we want to, but let's go ahead and go on to the next story. Which episode will we do next, though? Tune in next time on the next episode of the Bladeingtons Camping Adventure. Alright, well, that's it for right now, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for watching this video. And definitely check out Hoshi Zora Lone's card in the description of this video and her Instagram account as well. She does some really great art and like she does a lot of cool comics as well. So definitely go ahead and support her if you can. Until next time, everybody, see you on the other side!